Dr. Marek Calder stirred as a soft glow filled the chamber. He blinked against the light and tried to move, but his limbs felt heavy and unresponsive. Panic fluttered in his chest like a trapped bird. He remembered stepping onto the observation deck of the research vessel Ares, checking samples of deep space radiation. Then darkness. Now here he lay on a smooth platform of unknown material, surrounded by faint hums and shadows that shifted like living shapes. He forced his eyes, open wider. The walls around him were curved and pale, as if carved from pearl. No familiar controls or screens remained, only an endless, silent corridor stretching away on either side. Footsteps echoed softly from behind him.
Ice.
Marek's heart pounded. Was he still aboard his own ship, or had something taken him far from home? A figure stepped into view, tall and graceful. She wore a flowing garment that shimmered with pale starlight. Her hair floated around her face as if underwater, each strand a ribbon of silver. Marek's breath caught at her otherworldly beauty. Her eyes, like liquid mercury, fixed on him with calm intensity. She did not look away. "You are awake," she said, her voice smooth and warm. Dr. Poole once described human voices as vessels for feeling. This voice felt like that of a vessel carrying secrets Marek could not yet name. He swallowed. "Am I?" he managed, his throat dry. She crouched beside him, her movements fluid and silent. "You are safe," she replied. "I brought you here." The words offered little comfort. Marek's mind raced. He tried again to twist his body, to inspect how he was bound, but felt only a gentle pressure around his wrists and ankles. Soft restraints, but restraints all the same. "Why?" he asked, voice trembling. "You have to let me go." Her silver eyes narrowed, not in anger, but in concern. "Not until I know you are unharmed." She glanced at a panel on the wall. Numbers glowed faintly, coordinates, or perhaps readings of his vital signs. Marek's pulse thrummed in his ears. She rose and stepped back. The corridor beyond her looked endless, but he sensed life and purpose just beyond. He strained to listen for sounds of machinery or human voices, but heard only the hum of the ship's core. "Who are you?" said voice softer now, curiosity edging the fear. "I am called Alira," she answered. Marek frowned. "Watched me? Why?" Alira did not answer at once. She turned and walked a few paces, then paused beneath a slanted window. Through it, stars streamed by in long, pale trails. Marek followed her gaze, feeling smaller than a mote of dust in the vast cosmos. "You stood alone on the edge of collapse," Alira said after a moment, voice distant. "Your world faces a threat it cannot yet see. I chose you because you carry a gift." Marek's chest tightened. "Gift?" She looked back at him, and for the first time, he saw something like hope flicker in her eyes. "Gift of compassion that your people are losing drew me here." He blinked, shock mixing with confusion. Compassion? What did that mean on a ship that held him prisoner? "Please," he whispered, "I don't understand." Alira stepped closer again, her voice gentle. "Soon you will. But first you must rest. Your journey has only begun." Marek closed his eyes, exhaustion washing over him like cold water. He had so many questions about this mysterious woman, about the journey that lay ahead, and about the gift she believed he carried. But for now, sleep claimed him. The silent ship sailed on through the endless night of space, in the darkness behind his eyelids. He dreamed of a distant star, and felt the echo of a promise he could not yet name. Dr. Marek Calder awoke gently to the soft hum of the ship's engines. His body felt lighter now, as if the restraints had loosened. Opened his eyes to see Alira seated across from him, hands folded in her lap. The glow of distant stars filtered through the window, casting pale patterns on the floor. Marek rubbed his forehead, memories of the dream fading. "What happened?" he whispered. Alira rose silently and offered him a small cup of warm liquid. He took the cup with trembling fingers. "I'm sorry," he said, voice hushed. "Didn't mean to fall asleep." Alira smiled gently. "You needed rest." "Your mind carries many burdens." Marek looked down at the cup, smelled of sweet herbs and something unfamiliar. He drank slowly, feeling warmth spread through his chest. As he set the cup down, Alira led him to a seat by the window. He noticed the view, a tapestry of nebula clouds and distant suns, alive with color beyond anything he had seen. His heart quickened. "We're moving so fast," he said, awe in his voice. Alira nodded. "We travel far and fast. There is little time." Mark's thoughts raced. "Time for what?" he asked. Alira's eyes softened. She placed a gentle hand on his arm. "To save your world." The words struck him like a sudden gale. "Save my world," he echoed. "How can I help?" Alira turned back to the window, her profile calm. "Your gift is rare. Compassion can bind wounds that science cannot." Marek frowned. "Compassion?" he asked, voiced uncertain. "I'm just a scientist." Alira's gaze met his. "You are more. You feel deeply for others. You act to help when it costs you." Marek remembered nights spent offering his own time to wounded colleagues, to the lonely crew. He'd always felt their pain, had always tried to ease it. He never called it a gift-just duty. The ship shuddered as it passed through a field of charged particles. Lights flickered softly. Alira braced herself against the wall. Marek felt the tremor in his chest. "Are you hurt?" he asked. Alira shook her head. "I am not harmed." She glanced at a panel where readings scrolled. Life signs, energy flows, charted paths. But the ship senses danger. Marek rose, anxiety tugging at him. Danger. Alira led him down a narrow corridor lined with panels that pulsed under their touch. She paused at a door etched with symbols he could not read. "This is the observation deck," she said. The door slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a vast room. Through panoramic glass, they saw a dark shape blocking their course, an alien vessel, sleek and silent. Marek's breath caught in his throat. The vessel was massive, its hull reflecting the nebula's glow like a dark mirror. Alira stood firm. "But they watch us," she said quietly. Marek felt fear and excitement swirl. Inside him, "Why don't they attack?" he asked. Alira's expression was solemn, because they wait for a mistake. Marek studied the alien ship. He noticed no visible weapons, but sensed power hidden beneath its surface. "What do they want?" he whispered. Alira placed a hand on his shoulder, her touch steadying. "To test us. To see if your gift is real." Marek's heart hammered. "Test me." Alira nodded. "They doubt your people's capacity to care. They believe you are weak. They wish to see you broken." Marek swallowed hard. "And if they do," Lyra's silver eyes glowed, "then your world may fall." Marek steadied his breath. Though fear trembled in his limbs, he felt a spark of resolve. "Then I will show them compassion," he said. Softly, Alira's lips curved in a proud smile. "And we have hope." Marek looked back at the alien ship, the weight of his task settling on him. In that moment, he understood that his journey would demand courage and kindness in equal measure. The silent deck echoed with the hum of two hearts poised on the edge of destiny. Dr. Marek Calder stood, ready to walk the path Alira had shown him, guided by a gift he never knew he held. Dr. Marek Calder followed Alira through narrow corridors that pulsed with soft light. Every step echoed on the smooth floor. His mind raced with questions, but he held his tongue. Alira moved with purpose, her silver hair floating behind like a comet's tail. Marek felt both fear and wonder. He wondered what lay ahead in this quiet ship. They reached a heavy door carved with strange symbols. Alira touched one symbol, and the door slid open in silence. Inside was a room filled with shelves and displays. Each shelf held objects from Earth: tattered books, faded photographs, music discs, and small machines. Marek's heart fluttered as he saw a photo of his old hometown. He stepped forward, his hand trembling. He recognized the red brick school, where he first saw the stars. Next to it lay a crushed metal badge from his first conference. He ran his fingers along the glass case, longing rising like a tide. Alira watched him quietly. Her eyes held a deep calm. On another display, Merrick saw recordings of speeches he once gave. The videos flickered on a small hollow projector. Voice echoed softly across the room. Hearing himself, he felt pride and shame. Pride for his work, shame for times he failed to help those in need. Illyra's presence reminded him of both. As he moved, he found a letter sealed in clear plastic. The handwriting was his mother's. He remembered her gentle words of hope. Tears welled in his eyes. Illyra rested a hand on his shoulder. The touch was warm, steady. Marek realized she understood his pain. He turned to her, voice shaking. "How did you get these?" he asked. Illyra paused, looking at the displays. "I watched," she said softly. "I learned who you are." Marek's breath caught. "Watched me all my life?" Illyra nodded. "Every choice, every act of kindness. I needed to see your heart." Marek stood still, absorbing her words. He thought of the wounded soldier he comforted after the accident. He thought of the orphan child he paid for school. Each memory was a thread in his life. Illyra had seen them all. He wondered why his compassion mattered so much. She guided him to a final display, a simple glass box containing a small seed. The label read, "Earth Oak Sapling." Illyra opened the box and lifted the seed gently. She held it out to Marek. "This seed represents hope," she said. Marek took it with care. Its weight was light, yet it felt full of promise. Illyra's voice was quiet but firm. "I needed to know you would protect what you love, that you would give even when it meant sacrifice." Marek looked at the seed, then back. At her, he felt a warm resolve settle in his chest. "I will protect it," he said softly, voice sure. Illyra smiled, and for a moment her eyes shone like stars. She placed the seed back in its box. "You have shown me your true self," she said. "Now you will learn why compassion matters." To the cosmos, Marek felt his fear melt into curiosity. He stepped back, ready for what came next. Beyond the artifact room, the ship held new mysteries, and he would face them with the gift Illyra believed he carried. Dr. Marek Calder stood in the quiet corridor, the hum of the ship his only companion. Lyra's footsteps led him to a wide chamber whose walls glowed with shifting light. He felt a strange calm settle over him. Each breath tasted of new beginnings. Illyra raised her hand, and the light on the walls coalesced into images. Marek saw worlds in ruin, forests turned to ash, oceans boiled, cities silent beneath alien shadows. Sorrow washed over him. He remembered the seed he had held, fragile and full of hope. Now he understood why Illyra had shown him the artifacts. "These worlds fell," Illyra said softly, her voice echoing in the chamber. Marek turned to her, fear and empathy mingling in his chest. "Why?" he asked. Lyra's silver eyes reflected the images. "Their people forgot compassion," she replied. "They chose power over kindness, and the balance of life collapsed." Marek's heart ached at each image. He thought of his own world, of the arguments he'd seen over money and resources. He realized how easily hope could be lost. Tears stung his eyes. Illyra stepped closer and placed a hand on his arm. "You can help your world choose differently," she said. He swallowed hard. "How?" he whispered. The images faded, and Illyra guided him to a simple chair at the chamber's center. He sat, feeling the weight of her words. She remained standing, her form both gentle and strong. Marek looked at her, seeking answers in her calm face. Spoke of her long life, of the stars she had watched being born and dying. She told him of friendships lost to time, of planets where she had tried to heal broken hearts. Each story carried a quiet sadness and a steady resolve. Marek listened, moved by her devotion. "I have learned," Illyra said, "that compassion can heal more than wounds. It can mend hope itself. It can bind communities and spark change." Marek closed his eyes, imagining his colleagues and neighbors, each weary from worry. He felt a spark of determination. When he opened his eyes, he met Illyra's gaze. "Show me," he said. "Teach me how to share this gift." Illyra's lips curved in a small, proud smile. She reached out and took his hand. Warmth spread from her touch, filling him with courage. The chamber's light shifted again, this time showing a path, a narrow bridge of light stretching into the stars. Merrick rose beside Alira, heart steady. "This is where I learn," he asked. Alira nodded. "Beyond this, you will face trials, but you will not face them alone." Merrick took a steady breath and stepped forward onto the glowing bridge. Step felt like a promise. He looked back for a moment at Alira, who watched him with faith in her eyes. He felt her belief in him like a gentle wind at his back. As the bridge carried him into unknown space, Merrick felt his fear transform into hope. He held the memory of Earth's oak seed close in his mind, a reminder of why he must succeed. Whatever lay ahead, he knew he would carry compassion like a beacon. And somewhere behind him, Alira watched, certain that the gift she had found in a single human heart would shine bright against the darkness. Dr. Merrick Calder stepped across the glowing bridge until he reached a wide platform that floated in the void. Lyra's voice echoed softly through his mind. "This is your first trial." He felt his heart pound as he looked around. No walls enclosed. Him, lonely, endless stars, and the faint silhouette of a dark shape ahead. The dark shape resolved into a sleek vessel, its hull marked with symbols Merrick did not recognize. Alarms sounded in his mind, a warning that danger approached. His palms grew sweaty. He remembered Alira's words. "Compassion can be your weapon." He closed his eyes and took a steady breath. A hatch opened on the alien vessel. Out, tall and armored, it raised a weapon that hummed with energy. Merrick froze, fear and confusion rising in his chest. He could run, but the bridge was narrow. He could fight, but he carried no weapon. The figure spoke in a sharp tone Merrick could not understand. The weapon glowed brighter. Merrick sensed that the stranger expected him to react. He looked down at his empty hands. He felt the seed of Earth's oak in his pocket, a reminder of hope. In that moment, Merrick remembered the orphan child he helped back on Earth. He remembered the comfort he offered to a lost crew member. Compassion filled his chest like warm light. He raised his hands, palms open, and spoke words from his heart. "I mean no harm," he said quietly. "I only wish to help." The alien's weapon wavered. The figure paused, tilting its head as if surprised. Merrick could not understand its words, but he felt its curiosity. He stepped forward, each movement slow and deliberate. The bridge beneath him glowed more brightly, as if encouraging his courage. The alien lowered its weapon just enough to signal uncertainty. Merrick offered a small pouch from his belt, a ration pack and water. The stranger hesitated, then reached out and took the pouch. Its visor lifted, revealing eyes that reflected sorrow and fear. Merrick realized it had suffered. He knelt on one knee and spoke again, softly. "We share this universe. We are not enemies." The alien studied him for a long moment. The platforms, lights pulsed with each second. Then the figure extended a gauntlet hand. Merrick placed his hand against it. The alien's grip was firm, but trembled. Compassion flowed between them, unspoken yet clear. Suddenly a voice echoed from the alien vessel's hatch. More figures emerged, weapons raised. Merrick's heart clenched. He understood that the first figure acted alone, moved by his gesture. Now the others demanded action, fight, or be destroyed. Merrick rose slowly, keeping his hands open. He held the earth oak seed in his palm. He turned back to the approaching figures and called out, "Look at this seed. It is fragile, yet it holds life. You and I can protect life together." The figures hesitated. Blindness of fear wavered under his calm words. One by one, they lowered their weapons. The platform's lights shone brighter, revealing the bridge's true form, a meeting place for unity, not battle. As the last weapon clicked shut, the first alien spoke again. Merrick could not understand the words, but he saw respect in its posture. Compassion had bound them in that moment. The bridge's glow wrapped them in gentle warmth. Merrick felt relief and pride bloom in his chest. He looked at the aliens, then at the stars beyond. He had passed the trial. Compassion, not force, had saved them all. Behind him, Illyra's voice whispered in his mind, "Well done. You carry hope for your world, and now for many others. Marek closed his eyes and let the moment fill him with silent joy. The path ahead would still be hard, but he would never walk it alone. Dr. Merrick Calder stood on the glowing bridge as the last of the alien warriors lowered their weapons. Relief flooded through him, warm and bright. He watched as the first figure, the one who had knelt, bent to help a wounded comrade. The creature's armor was cracked, and vines of light pulsed at its side where it had been struck. Merrick's heart tightened at the sight. He understood instantly that this warrior had risked everything to stand with him. Behind them, the stars held their silent vigil. Without a thought for his own safety, Marek stepped forward. He knelt beside the wounded alien and placed his hand on its chest. He had no technology, no alien medkit, only his own hands and his gift of compassion. He whispered gentle words in his own language, hoping the tone would carry meaning across the barrier of unknown words. The creature's breathing was shallow, but at Marek's touch, it slowed further. As if calming, Alira's voice reached him, soft as a breeze. "You know what to do." Marek looked up, spotting her at the edge of the bridge, pale light dancing around her form. She watched with quiet confidence. With that, Marek closed his eyes and focused on the warmth in his chest. Envisioned the wounded alien healed and whole. He pressed his hand gently, imagining compassion as a light spreading from his palm into the alien's body. A soft glow passed between them. The warrior blinked, surprise in its dark eyes. Vines of light at its side faded, and the crack in its armor sealed as if mended by unseen hands. The figure sat up, testing its limbs. It looked at Marek and then around at its companions. The bridge's light brightened, reflecting the bond formed through mercy and care. The other aliens, once tense and wary, approached now with open curiosity. They offered small gifts of their own fragments of metal with strange patterns, glowing. Stones that pulsed like hearts. Marek accepted them humbly, touching each with respect. He understood that these gifts spoke of gratitude and trust. Warmth bloomed in his chest as he realized how powerful simple kindness could be. Alira stepped forward then, her silver hair stirring like liquid starlight. She placed a hand on Marek's shoulder and whispered, "You have passed the trial of unity." Marek looked at her, exhaustion and wonder in his eyes. Lyra's gaze turned to the gathered aliens. "You have seen his gift," she said, voice clear across the bridge. "Compassion is stronger than any weapon." The aliens bowed their heads in agreement. Elira guided Marek to the edge of the bridge where a new door shimmered open. Beyond it lay a galleried hall filled with beings from many worlds. Each face turned toward him, eyes bright with hope. Marek felt both small and great in that moment. He realized that his single act of mercy had echoed across the cosmos. Here, at the heart of the coalition, his gift would help heal divisions and forge alliances. Dr. Merrick Calder straightened his shoulders and held the earth oak seed in his palm. He thought of his own world, of the people arguing over dwindling resources, of children who needed hope. He knew his journey was far from over. With Alira by his side and allies from distant star systems, he would carry compassion as a beacon back to Earth. Together, they would protect life and kindle hope. As the doors closed behind them, Alira's hand found his. She smiled, her silver eyes warm. Marek returned the smile, determination shining in his own. They stepped into the Hall of Many Worlds, ready to face the final journey ahead. Whatever challenges waited, he knew they would meet them with kindness and courage, guided by the gift that had brought them all together. Dr. Marek Calder and Alira stood at the threshold of the galleried hall as the doors closed behind them. Marek felt the weight of countless eyes upon him, beings of many shapes and sizes who had witnessed his compassion. Seed in his hand like a promise, his heart hummed with quiet pride and a deep longing to share this gift with Earth. Alira's presence beside him felt like steady starlight guiding his steps. Together, they turned toward a corridor of soft light that led back to her ship's command center. The journey back toward Earth felt slower than the trip out, as if the ship understood the gravity of what lay ahead. Marek watched nebula clouds drift past the windows, remembering each trial he faced and each life he touched. He thought of the first alien who kneeled, the wounded warrior he healed, and the coalition of worlds that now believed in humanity's compassion. Alira was quiet, as if listening to the ship's hum and the echo of Marek's resolve. He realized that every moment on this bridge had shaped him into someone more than a scientist, into a true guardian of hope. When they reached the command center, Alira activated a silent communication link to Earth. Marek saw his home planet appear on the central screen, a blue and green marble suspended in darkness. He squinted at continents he had mapped and oceans he had studied. Tears stung his eyes as he thought of the people who still fought over fear. In doubt, Alira placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "Your world needs you now," she said softly. Marek nodded, swallowing a lump in his throat. He took a steady breath and touched the screen. With Alira's guidance, he sent a simple but clear message in Earth's major languages. "We stand together in compassion. Let us heal our world as we heal the stars." The message carried the tone of his heart, not of a diplomat or a soldier, but of someone who believed in unity. Across light years, transmissions hummed toward every city, every village. He closed his eyes, imagining people pausing in their busy lives to hear the words. He hoped they felt the earnest warmth behind them. As the signal left the ship, Lyra engaged the final jump toward Earth's orbit. The ship shimmered and then vanished from the void, reappearing above the planet's blue haze. They descended through the atmosphere in silence. Marek felt the pull of home as the wind roared around the craft. He watched familiar coastlines and mountain ranges unfold below. His heart raced with anticipation and a touch of fear for what awaited him. When the ship touched down in a remote clearing, Alira opened the hatch and stepped aside. Marek climbed out, feeling solid ground beneath his boots for the first time. In what felt like forever, dawn broke on the horizon, painting the sky with soft pink and gold. He breathed deeply, the scent of Earth filling his lungs. Alira watched him with a gentle smile. "This is your moment," she said. Dr. Marek Calder raised the earth-soaked seed to the sunrise. Its fragile shell caught the light, casting a tiny glow. He knelt and pressed the seed into the fertile soil. The ground seemed to welcome it, as if the planet knew his gift. He stood, turning to face Alira. "Thank you," he whispered.